part number of how not to be successful. How not to be successful. Praise God. And the last topic, we talked about self-centeredness, and then I gave you 5 characters of self-centered people. Today I want to start on point number 2, that is to say point 1 of how not to be successful is that you must not be self-centered. If you're self-centered, if you're selfish, if you're egocentric, you will not please God, and the blessings of God will elude you. Number 2 says selfish ambition over ambitiousness. Praise the Lord. If you have an ambition, is a very good thing. To be ambitious is to create the desire to succeed, to work and fight for success, never to give up until it succeeds. Praise the Lord. They said no rest of mind until success is found. Praise the Lord. That is for ambition. But when it becomes over, it becomes selfish. Amen. People that are over ambitious in nature are selfishly embarking on those ventures or ambitions. Praise the Lord. And the Bible frowns at selfish ambition over ambitiousness. The Word of God says not to it. We don't need to be selfishly ambitious. Philippians chapter 2, verse number 3 and 4. Philippians. Is anyone there? Chapter 2, 3 and 4. Hallelujah.
And he says, from verse 2.
Yes.
From verse 2. No, verse 3 said, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others.
God bless you. You see, selfish ambition is evil before God. Amen. He said, let nothing be done through selfish ambition. Praise the Lord. Or conceit. But in lowness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. When someone is selfishly ambitious, amen, he does not consider the well-being of others. So to be selfishly ambitious is to have or develop this determination to succeed. Praise the Lord. But this kind of determination leads to disobedience, either to the rules or laws of God, or both. Praise the Lord. Why in ambition you're working hard to succeed, but when there is selfish attached to it, you throw caution to the wind. You're no more considering any other person or well-being of anyone. What matters so much to you is purely yourself. And whenever you decide to succeed only yourself in any environment, you're going to disobey the rules that govern that environment. And as a child of God, you're bound to disobey the laws of God. And that's why the scriptures say, no, you shouldn't do anything through selfish ambition. Praise God. It will not work. God will not listen to you. God will not answer the prayers that are centered on selfish ambition. Remember what it says in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 3. We ask amiss. That is why we don't receive. And why? Maybe we read it. James 4, chapter 3. Are you there?
It says, and even when we ask, you don't get it, because your motives are all wrong. You want only what will give you pleasure.
God bless you. Only what will give you pleasure. Only about yourself. Praise the Lord. When everything you ask, everything you crave for, everything you fight, struggle for, is all about self, God does not listen to those kind of prayers. So when ambition is self-centered, praise the Lord, God looks away from your request. No matter how you crave for it, you will never meet God's demands. Praise the Lord. Because the goal you set for yourself towards those things you're asking from Him are against the laws of God. And the motives automatically are wrong. Remember what I said, when this self-ambition takes over our life, we are bound to disobey the rule. This time around, we disregard every law. We disregard every rule, both natural laws and laws of God. Because everything you care for is to get what you want. It doesn't matter how you get it. Praise the Lord. And if you're the type that you're out to get something, it doesn't matter. You don't have God behind you. You can't have Him behind you. You can't have Him by your side. Am I right? So He cannot walk with you. And let's look at what it says in verse 3. It says, it's in verse 4 rather. It says, let each of you look out not only for his own interest, but also the interest of others. When you're fighting, when you're praying, when you're working very hard, and you have other people's interests at heart, success smiles at you so easy. And that is why whatever you're planning, or any career you choose in this life, if in your mindset you're going into that to change the life, circumstances, situation of fellow human being, you succeed faster. When your mindset is about how to touch those who have not been touched, how to reach out to those who have not been reached, who can be reached ordinarily, how to save souls, praise the Lord, how to change the fortunes of humanity, you succeed most. And God is always on your side. Whenever you're choosing any career to do, what are those things you have in mind? Praise the Lord. Whenever you're choosing career, or you have a choice to make from any career, you need to consider first, this career or this maybe course I want to read, praise the Lord, or business I want to do, how will it touch the life of humanity? When you're asking God for something, check within yourself. If I receive this from God, how will it benefit my next door neighbor? Your next door neighbor must not be the one living next to you. It could be anyone you meet anywhere. Put your hand for the Lord Jesus. Praise the Lord. But the Bible is telling us, think more about others, not about ourselves. While I was treating self-centeredness, I told you people that we should stop thinking about ourselves, because the programs of God for every individual is bigger and wider than our narrow interest. Every time we think about ourselves, we narrow down God's program, we narrow all the desire, we narrow God's ability and God's generosity only towards those things that concern us. Praise the Lord. But the Bible is saying, think more about others. Take away self in everything. Even when you're struggling to succeed, are you struggling to succeed for yourself alone? Amen. Let's see. This is Philippians 1. Just take a leap back. 1:15. Maybe we'll take it to 17. Philippians 1, chapter 15 to 17.
It's true that some are preaching out of jealousy and rivalry, but others preach about Christ with pure motive. They preach because they love me, for they know I have been appointed to defend the good news. Those others do not have pure motive as they preach about Christ. They preach with selfish ambition, not sincerely intending to make my chains more painful to me. Praise God.
God bless you. Are you up to 17? It is well with you. Amen. You can see that even among the preachers, some people do this work for selfish reasons. Amen. Let me read my translation. From verse 15 it says, some indeed preach Christ, even from the envy and strife, some also from goodwill. And that is where Christianity is the worst religion. The division in Christianity is second to none. Praise the Lord. The hatred and strife is also second to none. Amen. Every religion has division. That is the truth. Praise the Lord. In Islam there are divisions. Is it true? Yes, there are. Yeah. If you know, there are some group in Islam that consider themselves the holier one. And these ones, they don't drink, they don't go to club, they don't dance in the open. You know them by the way they dress. Their trouser, not the rich, and now Michael Jackson style. Praise the Lord. These ones, they don't joke with Quran and every Quranic law. Praise the Lord. And they see every other Christian, every other Muslim as unbeliever. But you see, there is one thing that is still working for them. All of them still go to the same mosque. Pray with happiness, relate happily, close mosque happily. On the day of Salah festival, praise God, they eat together. Am I right? Everything they still do together, but they know that this group, they are not as serious as we are. Praise the Lord. But in Christianity, you don't have that. Praise God. Because, come to think of it, the division in Christianity somehow is justified, somehow it is not. Why would I say to an extent is justified? Because everybody that is today standing out as a man of God are not called by God. Is it true? So chances are that those who call themselves have already written out their own program, religion, and laws they want to follow. These are people that practice what they call logic in religion. Do you understand that? I addressed this last time, was it on Sunday or God bless you? And I told you logic here means when they come together like in a Bible class, you see when men of God are discussing the word of God as if they are discussing business and enterprise and venture. Is it good for, which one would I use now? Sorry? A woman to cover her head and go from my praise the Lord. And the other person will say, let us read it again. You understand that? And they will read it. This one will say, what did the Bible say? The Bible says it is an honor and glory to who? And this other one will say, yes, now this is for the husband. What did the husband say? And not about that. You understand? So he's now having a stronger argument. The other people will say it is true. Then, in that case, whether you cover your hair or not, as long as your husband is not angry, go to church with it. But they forgot that in the church, you're not worshiping the husband. Praise the Lord. And God did not take permission from the husband before that statement was made. Praise the Lord. Do you understand that? So these are people that practice logic. They are the one that will go into sin and come back and say, the glory cover me, or the grace cover. And they will bring logic. So when you have this kind of people and you know the God yourself, you know what the word of God says, and you're well tutored, informed about the word of God, and you know you hate sin and you are afraid of hell, will you go to those places and worship, or with this same kind of people to worship? No. The answer is no. So that is why somehow this division is justified. Praise the Lord. Because when the Muslims go to mosque, they go to pray. Is that correct? And all of them, both the holier and the unholier one, don't quote me, but what I got from them, praise God, they all pray the same pattern of prayer, and they believe in the same 5 pillars of Islam. They practice it. When it's time to go to Mecca, all of them will go there. When it's time for fasting, every one of them will fast. Praise the Lord. So that is why they still practice that kind of understanding and unity, even though there are divisions. But in Christianity, it's so huge and large. And Paul noticed it. If Paul could notice this earlier on, let's read that portion again. You now see that it did not start today. Philippians 1, verse 15. Some indeed preach Christ, even from envy and strife. Some also from good way. How can someone be preaching Christ with envy? Today, if you tell someone that your pastor is preaching Christ with envy, he will tell you, you don't know what you just hate my pastor. Which means nobody will believe that any man of God could preach the gospel with envy. What is it happening? And strife also. What's another word for strife? Fighting. Praise the Lord. Some fight with the gospel. Amen. So you now see anyone that is preaching the gospel with strife. Is he preaching to win souls? You're not talking.
No.
Is he preaching to convert souls?
No.
Is he preaching to prepare you for heaven?
No.
He's preaching to get what he wants, express his opinion, or probably to bring you under his own roof. Are you seeing that? Praise the Lord. So this is where Christianity is happening out. Some preach with envy. I told you the first church I preached, I was still a deacon in the church that I grew then, and the pastor invited me to come and preach. Because I was very close to him, because naturally I don't go on those kind of era. You know why I don't do it? Number one, if I trust my spirit, because we need to understand this the system we belong to. If some people preach the gospel with envy and strife, and I don't, the Bible says don't be unequally, even in association. Is that correct? So, and I know that this man preached the gospel with envy and strife. Do I need to go and stand at his altar and preach? Do you know, if I stand there to preach, you know what I do? I am giving him credit that he does not have. Because those who believe that I preach the gospel pure and righteous, when they see me in that church, they will believe that the man also, because birds of the same feather. You understand? So I am giving this man credit that he does not have. If the man belongs to a cult, and I don't, or maybe I belong to a cult and the next pastor does not, praise the Lord. If I invite that holy pastor to my church, church of cultism or cultic church. You understand? The help of the Lord Jesus. It means the moment that man stands here to preach, those who have been doubting if he's truly a servant of God or an occultic man, we conclude that this man, since he can stand here, it means that place is a very good ground. Hence, what that means is that the innocent ones, the ignorant ones, the babies in the Lord will be sold out to this occultic church, deceived to believe that God is the same. All of us are worshiping Him in the same manner. Do you understand that? Which means we are selling out the souls we're supposed to save because of association, because of whatever. I don't know what they gain from it, because I never wanted to be part of it. Put your hands for the Lord. Amen. So that is one reason why I don't do it. And I don't bring them, because if you also bring them in, if this church has a good standing with the Lord, the day you bring an occultic pastor and he comes here, he will pollute this place. And I tell you, half of our members will follow him or be initiated and remain with us. Do you understand that? So I don't bring them in and I don't go. Except God says, go. If I did not hear from him, I'm okay. Praise the Lord. Are you still there? So, but on that day, that man of God invited me. I'm talking about preaching the gospel with strife and envy, right? So the man invited me, and I was in the church to minister. The first church I ministered, even as a day. The man had to do the first preaching so that I would come in. That's the way he programmed it. And he started his message, and I was listening. And as a prophet, he knew me as a prophet, right? So he now started by preaching. Midway into his message, he said to his members, because some of his members do come to me, and I have another friend who's a prophet also. So my members do go there to ask and inquire from the Lord, which the Bible says we should do. The Bible says, my people perish for lack of. See what I mean? And the prophecy is there to enlighten in the areas that remains dark, even through the scripture. Because, like I said always, which people wrote the Bible? The prophets. Praise the Lord. The prophets. Outside the law that Moses received from God, the makeup of the Bible is prophecy. Do you understand? That's why the Bible says in Romans 3:21, it is the law and the prophets that controls and rules, even in his kingdom. Praise the Lord. Now, we have the epistles, which was a revelation to Paul while he was an apostle, right? And we have the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are the witnesses of those that live with Christ. Did you understand that? So the Bible is made up of the law, the prophecy, the witness, and revelation. But before the era of revelation and witness, which we have in New Testament, every other portion of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation is of the law and prophecy. Praise God. But this man was standing and he said, I want you people not to go and look for prophets. There is no prophecy that you need again. Every prophecy you need now is written in the Bible. Even when I was in Bible school, my rector also made mention of that. He said the prophecy we need now is written in the Bible. Of course, we have prophecies written in the Bible, but are we saying that there are no situations today that may come up where Bible have not or did not address it squarely, that we need prophets and prophecies to clear the air? Are we saying that we do not have peculiar issues here that people of the old that lived in the days of those prophets never had? Praise God. And this is where prophets, even in this generation, supposed to be the ones guiding the true believers. Only if these prophets are sincere and seriously, sincerely, and righteously doing their work. The areas we have controversy about the word of God, for instance, the issue of covering of hair, putting on trousers, take two. If the Bible did not specifically address issues like that, we're supposed to meet prophets who are sincere to ask from God. These things were not properly expressed in the word. Shall we or shall we not? Can we add anything here? You understand that? But we say, they are saying prophecy is no more needed. Prophets are not. Because prophecy and prophets are the ones that will still reveal their secrets and open up their evil. So the man says, we don't need prophets. I warned you people not to go looking for prophets. Everything you need is here. I've told you this story before. And I kept quiet. Imagine, some people, I don't know how they think. You invited a prophet that you know, and the prophet you do visits to consult for your own problems. You invited him to your church because he's a prophet, and you know he's a prophet of a true living God. Praise God. And in his presence again, you're telling your members not to mind prophets. I'm supposed to be cold now, and I was cold. So when it was time for me to preach, I was thinking, what do I do here now? Since this man is not somebody you can trust in any way. Lord, help me. And in such environment, because you are in a territory that does not belong to you, you play safe. Praise God. You pick your words. You pick your messages. I did that shortly and I left. Not fulfilled, but unfulfilled. Praise the Lord. I not talked to one more. This same man came to my house, and another prophet was there, and he was asking us, help me ask God about my ministry. So what are we saying? That man was preaching the gospel with envy. He was envious of prophets. Bible said, if you need a gift, ask God for it. Listen to me. We're talking about ambition, selfish ambition. If God sees in your heart that the reason why you're desiring to be a prophet is to reveal the secret of the enemies and the secret in the society and the evil that are crept into the church and churches of God, it will anoint you and empower you. But if you're looking for the gift of prophecy because you make money from it, people will hear you, and sometimes you formulate stories and tell them God said. Interestingly, those that are saying we don't need prophets, they are the ones that will stand at the people and say, God laid in my heart to tell you. They are the ones that will stand at the pulpit and say, I prophesy unto your wealth today. I prophesy unto your health. I prophesy unto your marriage. Praise the Lord. I prophesy success in your life. And everybody will be. But he is saying prophets should be gathered, put in one house, lock them up, set them on fire. They are deceiving people. But he will stand again to prophesy. Why prophesy when prophecy is wrong? Indeed, people are preaching the gospel with envy, strife, that is rivalry. They see today the work of God and ministry of Jesus Christ is filled with competition. And this rivalry has its side effects and consequences. Praise the Lord. Rivalry brings us selfish ambition. Is that correct? Because the moment you feel we are competing on something, the next I will have in mind is how to outdo you. It doesn't matter how I get what I want, I just have to get it. I want to be the best. It doesn't matter how I become the best. But that best is based on what we consider to be the best, or what the bone of contention here is if the best is to have the highest number of members, if we are competing about membership, praise the Lord, who will have the highest number of members seated in the church? And that is exactly the area of competition today in the work of God. Praise the Lord. The next thing is who will have the best auditorium. These two things are purely selfish ambition. Praise the Lord. When all your aim and objective as a servant of God is to have the highest number of people seated in your church as the highest congregation in Nigeria, highest congregation in Africa, highest congregation in the whole world, it is selfish. Do you know why it is selfish? Because even if we go back to the Bible from the Old Testament, the people of Babel were gathering themselves together to worship God. Is it true? Yes. They were coming up, forming very strong bond to serve God in unity. And they do not want to disperse, they don't want to scatter. And they believe that getting closer to God will make their voice quickly and easily heard by God. That brought about building of the tower. So they were building this tower so that they stay closer to God. So you can see that they were not enemies of God. Praise the Lord. So they were building the tower to stay closer to God, so that when they pray, God will easily hear. Is that correct? God bless you. And what did God do? He said, that is not what I created you for. I want you to be all over the world. And that return back to the first commandment. Go ye into the world and multiply. Fill the earth with the glory. So God expected that anywhere a child of God is, the glory of God dwells there. But today we're filling the world with evil. The glory of immorality, cultism, and everything you can think of. Praise the Lord. But that was not the original plan of God. He said we should fill the world with His glory. Amen. So the people of Babel got it wrong. They wanted to stay united, one family, one country, and to be closer to God, to reach Him easily. And God set confusion in their midst. Is it true? And scattered them. Put your hands for the Lord. One point. When Jesus left the world, praise God, the people He trained, the apostles and disciples, were afraid of the world. Praise God. Hence, they gathered together where in Jerusalem, and they refused to leave. All the apostles wanted to dwell in the nation of Israel and do the work there. Or is it surprising that the one that conquered Europe for Christ was who? Paul, who was not among the apostles, but the one converted even after Jesus has ascended. Is that correct? Put your hands for the Lord. The 4 disciples were afraid. Praise the Lord. They were seriously living in fear. But do you know how God scattered them? Through persecution. Anyone they catch, they kill. In order to escape that murder or killing or extrajudicial killing, praise God, they were now running for anywhere they enter, the gospel continued. So God scattered His disciples through what? Persecution. Amen. I hope you're keeping record of it. The first commandment of the Lord towards humanity is to go, spread and multiply. Is that correct? And it played out that, when God started multiplying, people were, expanding. It got to a point where they decided to come together again. Human wisdom And that's not about the Tower of Babel. God said, no, that's not my program for humanity. What did he do? He scattered them again. Then Jesus came, gathered his people, trained them, and commissioned them. But when he left, they wanted to dwell, they wanted to live the gospel only to the Jews. Hence, they never wanted to leave the nation of Israel. Are you there? And that's why Paul was commissioned. Paul became an evangelist and an apostle of the unbelievers. He conquered every nation that is not Israel. And that's why when Catholic people are saying Peter started church in Rome, you laugh at them because we're not fools. We read the Bible and we read history. Peter has never been to Rome. He had never allowed Peter to leave Jerusalem. Peter lived and died in Jerusalem. But that's not the topic for today. Put your hands for the Lord. Amen. So when the disciples could not scatter, God scattered them through persecution. Today, those that say they understand God, the Spirit of God is in them, are now gathering the whole village in one house. Are they for God or against God? Praise the Lord. Every Sunday, some people are traveling below guitars. I hope you understand that. Amen. To go and worship God somewhere, to achieve that diabolic means and aim, they will give you vehicle. And interestingly, they call it vehicle that will convey you, but you will still pay. Who is fooling? Praise the Lord. When you ask them to have branches, they are telling you they want to control. The wisdom of God is not for one person. Nobody is an island of either knowledge, wisdom, or anointing of God. Praise the Lord. So those ones that are gathering the whole world, one built 50,000 capacity, the other one built 100,000 capacity. Another one will come out and build 200. But the question is, how has this affected our society? Do we have more believers now than we had before? Or we have more unbelievers? Someone will say unbelieving believers now. Which means the church, the bigger congregation, is destroying the body of Christ. The real reason for the death of Christ is no more sin preached or had anywhere. So what's the essence of gathering the whole village under one roof? Are they truly working for God? Or they are doing that work for selfish reasons, envy and strife? Amen. Come to think of the way the apostles lived. They come out in the morning, they share duty. You go to Ikoto and preach. Me, I will go to your neighbor. Are you there? Today, somebody is saying all the Ikoto and Ipaja should belong to me. Is it for the same purpose? Somebody's not. No. Put your hands for the Lord. So when the gospel said, when the Bible said we are preaching the some are doing the work of God together with envy and strife, you know where we're coming from. And that's why we have evil. We have, as a matter of fact, people are now afraid to preach righteousness. Members will laugh at you and abandon you. Pastors will laugh at you and excommunicate you. A pastor will call you and say, that gospel is too hard. A man of God will say, water it down. I told you when I became a deacon in the church, I was told I should prepare for my message or messages as the case may be. And then as someone who's committed to the responsibility God has given to me, I started writing messages. When I discovered that they were not forthcoming in calling me out to preach. Do you understand that? And I said, okay, since I don't have the audience to preach, let me now give the people that are preaching what God has given to me in wisdom. So I started writing Sunday school messages. I wrote the first one. Amen. I took it to my Gio. And I said, Gio, this is Sunday school message. I prepared everything so that it will be easier, both for the teacher and for the members. Memory verse, all the necessary quotations, even questions that you should ask at last. Praise the Lord. I gave it to my teacher. I said, Gio, please, give it to any Sunday school teacher. It's important. Amen. My Gio said, this message is nice. He read it fully. He asked me to go. He will study it. I left him. After 1 month, nobody preached that message. And I was not called upon to come and preach it in case it was difficult for them. 2 months, 3 months went by. I'm always with my Gio because I walk very close to him. He does not joke with me. In the office, I was tidying the office up, and I found that message inside the trash can. And I picked the message. This message, I wrote it down. I took it, that was the period, not everybody has computer, right? I went to a business center, that's what it was like those days. I paid for it, I sat with whoever that operated the computer, everything was typed, I paid so that it will be good enough, understandable enough, and presentable enough. Praise God. Only for me to discover what I kept sleepless night to do and what cost me money to prepare. I picked it and I dusted it. And I called my Gio, say, Gio, I saw this message in a trash can. You should have called me to come and preach it if nobody could. He said, Cosmos, you know, that message is too tough, it's too strong. I said, it need to be diluted. He said, yes. I said, you should have told me to do that. No problem, I'm going to dilute it. I thought because, you know, the word dilution means different things to different people. I thought he needed me to break down the word that I use. Do you understand that? So I had to go back, I break it down, and I added on that thing, I call it the follow-up. Praise the Lord. I returned back with the message I gave to my Jew. I waited, this time around I became very conscious of the environment. Every day I searched them. True to the matter, I still found it somewhere this time around under some books. And I picked it, I didn't bother to go to him again. The first time this church started, I preached that message. I use it for Sunday school, and I know Pastor Chris uses it also to teach. You see, what I'm saying here is the problem we have in Christianity. Because such words will expose their weakness, expose the evil they are practicing and covering, and expose their sins. Nobody wants to be exposed. Only those who wants to repent. Put your hands for the Lord Jesus. People are still preaching the gospel with strife and envy. Amen. Now, to members, believers, so to say, what kind of scripture do you want to hear? What kind of fellowship do you want to belong to? Praise the Lord. Because you can't be serving the God of Mammon and expect blessing from God. Neither will you serve Almighty God and expect blessing from God of Mammon. Praise the Lord. Are you there? So what you choose to hear, what you want, what guides you, what you love is what determines who you are, even before God. So indeed, people are still preaching the gospel with what? Envy and strife. And some of us are also byproducts of envy and strife religion. All we learn in the church is how to fight our neighbor, how to hate our neighbor, and how to be envious of those God is blessing and those that are succeeding. Anyone that rises becomes our enemy. And people like that, even when you are of the same level, they still don't want you around them. Why? We are learning it from the church and pastors. Today, everybody quotes the pastors, and the pastors they are quoting are not the pastors that do the right thing, but the pastors that are operating on logic. Praise the Lord. Like I mentioned about God putting everybody together and saying, no, you need to spread up, spread out, go out, reach out. Praise God. But people prefer where they gather than where they have the opportunity to reach out. Amen. Many people choose churches based on the size of the hall. Many people choose churches based on how wealthy the members are and how wealthy the pastor is. Is that the standard set in the Bible? The standard is what? Holiness and finish. Praise the Lord. Every other thing that guides you outside holiness and righteousness, either as a child of God or servant of God, is evil and antichrist. Amen. Praise the Lord. So what we are saying here is to leave self in serving God. It is not wrong to be ambitious, but when you are selfishly ambitious, God is no more your friend. Praise the Lord. Could you read that Philippians again? 15 to 17. Let's move forward. Philippians.
Some to the pure, preach Christ out of envy and strife, but others out of goodwill. These do so out of love, knowing that I am appointed for the defense. I'm appointed for the defense of the gospel. Verse 17. And the others proclaim Christ out of bribery, not sincerely seeking to cause me trouble in my imprisonment.
God bless you. Verse 16 says, some people preach this gospel out of good will. And those that preach out of good will are those that are representing both Christ and the scripture. Amen. Are you there? I've told you why we have this division in the church. Everybody is pursuing his own agenda. Praise the Lord. Every pastor is pursuing his own agenda. You even see pastors that come out from a particular church. Immediately that one starts. Everything he will do, but today she is involved. Everything he or she does will be totally different from the mother church, from the church where he came from. Is it true? Why? Everything about Christianity is self. Otherwise, when you have a foundation, why do you abandon the foundation? If the foundation is right, praise the Lord. But if the foundation is wrong, why don't you leave and look for a very sound foundation? Because the Bible says any foundation that is not of Christ is bound to fail and is evil. Praise the Lord. So some people preach out of goodwill, like I said. The division in the Christendom today is based on this. Some are preaching the gospel out of goodwill. Some are preaching the gospel to satisfy their selfish ambition. And you know the evil of selfish ambition. I said it before, they break rules. When you're selfishly pursuing anything, you're bound to break rules. Number two, they are easily gullible. These people can fall into any trap. These people can be convinced by even a baby Praise the Lord. When you hear pastors fall into trap, ask questions, you ask. For all the years you stood as a pastor, let's say trained as a pastor and finally become one, it means you did not learn anything. I told you once the pastor that I became a Christian in his under him. Praise the Lord. Under him. Acceptance of God. I'm talking about the pastor in question. After several years, the Bible assembly started. He met me, he said, how far? I said, fine, sir. Thank you. We are saying greetings. I said, oh, the ministries. I said, everything is tough. Everything is tough. Hey. I said, oh, God will help us. The ministry work is not easy. He said, yes. Even we have to stand in faith. I said, yes, we have to, no matter the situation. Because God is not going to rate us ministers or judge us ministers because of the number of people that we sit with. But He will judge us based on how many we reach. And the people we reach, did we tell them the whole truth? That's when the judgment starts. If you meet 1 billion people and deceive them, before even the judgment starts, you are in hell. Praise God. And he said to me, yes, so even to the extent that our father met him and asked him, come, I will give you what I used to give others so that your church will grow. I look at my pastor. And elderly man too. I was thinking, how do I put this word? Because whatever I say now, he will not judge me based on the scripture. He will judge me based on age. If the next thing you hear that I know I see you, you don't talk to me like that. Praise God. But what was in my mind was, how did you initiate discussion with an alpha? Did you understand that? A pastor. How did that discussion start? When did it start? So the alpha felt very relaxed, comfortable to introduce to you his product. Are you with me? Because any true servant of God, if you sit with people like that, they are not comfortable. True of us. They can be comfortable. The spirit in them will be telling them, leave, leave, leave. Even no matter how the alpha feels or loves you or trusted you, it cannot stay long with you. But for alpha to stay with me comfortably and tell me, Cosmos, you need some power. That they will go and cry. I will know that the glory has departed. Put your hands on the Lord Jesus. That is the truth. Praise God. But for those who are ambitious, selfishly, the moment their alpha says so, they will go, come back. Because their target was to raise or to have a very large congregation. I think I also told you that a pastor that me, I used to help him in prayer as well. A day came, the wife ran to me there and he said, Daddy, help me out. I said, wow. He said, my husband wants to beat me. What did you do? My husband said I should give him 200 naira. What is he using it for? He said, want to give a fat promised to give him broom. He will bury the broom at the door of the church. The members will food. Imagine 200 naira. That is something you can easily, is that all? So with 200 naira, the church will food, they'll tell you yes. He said, what is 200? But you wouldn't know that. The moment you give 200 naira to bury a broom, you've made that church of Satan. And every soul that entered into that church becomes property of Satan. Some of them will tell you how you settle them yearly, how many souls they will take in the church. Some will not tell you, but you see people dying in the church. Do you understand that? Praise the Lord. these are the reasons why the divisions are there, because I cannot know all this and see all this and still push myself to mingle with them. Do you understand? Yes. Somebody invited a pastor to their church, and this pastor is one of the reigning ones. Praise God. When the pastor rounded up the message, he had to give prophecy. So he was giving prophecy to make people that attended the program. It was like a crusade. And after prophecy in the church, I opened one like this, you. He said, if I mention your name, come and meet me. And people like that will tell you your name, the name of your father and the name of your forefather. Prophecy, true prophets of God are not known by when they tell you the name of your father or the food you cook. Do you know why? Let us understand who this God is. Do you know who this God is? The Bible says he's such a big God. Praise the Lord. So large and huge that he filled the heaven up. Praise the Lord. And the earth is an extension of his footstool. So imagine how big this God is. Hope I'm getting into your consciousness. Good. Now come to think about the serious-minded people over the world asking God for attention. Are you seeing it? And in your heart of hearts, with all the wisdom inside of you, you still believe that God has time to tell you the kind of soup you cook, to prove to you that he's the one speaking. Am I talking? He has no time for all those words. Praise the Lord. When you sit before a true prophet of God, he will tell you the root. It may be one word, it may be one message or two, but that controls all the troubles in your life. Listen, so the trouble from Satan, just like sin, is a tree with branches. If you uproot the root of the tree, the branches, which are the troubles, poverty, sickness, premature death, all of them will dry up with time. But the root must go. He has no time for jamboree. He has no time trying to convince you. Some people I know, some people have sat before me and they say, talk to me. And I was like, how? Hey, talk to me now. I laugh. Because this one come to check if I may see. I know what I usually tell you. If you don't know your problem, you don't have reasons to be here. If you think I am sitting here to prove to you that I'm a prophet, no, that's wrong. You will not get it from me. But I'm here to do my work. If it demands that I will talk to you before you start talking, fine. If God said talk, I will ask you talk. And whatever you fail, we leave it. I don't have any duty to prove to anybody that I'm a prophet. No. But I have duty to do the work of God in your life. So whichever way God wants this work to be done, I will follow you. My ministry. Put your hands for the Lord. But you have these people, they will tell you everything. So this man was telling them, even the food they cook, he will call you by your name. It doesn't work. One prophet from Abakaliki, on the state, he said, he prophesied about football match. No, I used to tell you that God is not a politician and he's not a footballer. Put me anywhere you are rich. Tell them I said, God is not a footballer. So to ask God to forecast for you or tell you who will win, Super Eagles, what concerns Super Eagles with Almighty God and heaven? Are you thinking at all? Do you think God has time? You're correcting this, my God. You're looking at this God as your friend. He's your friend if you're living righteously, but not when you're after things that are having no value to our spiritual life. Are you there? So this man from Abakaliki, he said, he prophesied that Super Falcons will get to finals. Many of you must have heard it. Praise God. And eventually, they didn't even enter the quarterfinals. Praise the Lord. You know man did. He came back. I appreciate him so much because other pastors, those that prophesied that the governor of Kaduna State will die, the man is doing second time. Maybe after now we go for presidency. I trust him. So those that prophesy he will die, they are now telling us. In fact, nobody is talking about it. But this man was bold enough to say, my followers, don't be offended. The day God gave me this message, I did not check. You people should know that we are still human. Sometimes Satan spoke to, so it was Satan that spoke to him on that day. He said the mistake he made was that he did not cross-check the prophecy to know that it was Satan speaking and not God. Are you still there? That's what you get when you create things yourself and manipulate people. You can manipulate people for some time, but not all the time. Put your hands for the Lord. Amen. So when you have people like that and you know the God you are serving, will you go and associate with them? I'm teaching you why we have division. Because of selfish ambition. The church that I grew, let me tell you what happened there. The church was doing fine. Everything was under check. Then a day came, a man and a woman came to the church and met with the Jew. I was not told, because before I knew what was happening, they already had microphone. Things like that, I do tell Gio that I'm not part of it. And if I'm serious, sometimes he will have a second look over that matter. But this one I wasn't involved and informed. So all I had was that someone was called upon to come and minister to us. And I asked the nearest person what happened. They said, these people, they said they came from Mountain Orioke. When you hear Orioke, I used to think the one I know here. I didn't know it's far away in Osun State. Praise God. From Mountain Orioke, they said they have God sent them to come and minister to us. No, deliver a message to the church. Are you opening your ears? Because whatever I say here is to enlighten you. For those of you that walk on the road, somebody will say he has a message for you. You do your own JJ, they sell akara, or they sell meat, or sell pop for crayfish. Somebody will walk into your shop and say, God say I should tell you. Sometimes we are so gullible that when they say prophecy, you are like, I've been looking for it. Listen, if you read the scripture very well, what did the Bible say? Food meant for children of God. Number one, before God will send somebody from wherever to come and meet you, first of all, check your life. Praise God. Am I so important to God that He will send someone that I didn't know? That's number one question. Number two, you look into the Bible again. What did He say? He said, in the later days, my people will dream dreams and see vision. Some will also prophesy. If in your church you don't have prophet, you have someone that dreams. If God did not reveal it to you through dream, He will reveal it through prophecy or through vision. There is no way these three things will be lacking around you and in the church. And that's why some people will still stand with me and they say, I don't know my problem. I say, you know your problem. Because God has shown it to you in a revelation, in a dream. It's either you don't believe it, it's either you are among the people that say it doesn't matter. It's either you are among the people that say Christ has solved all those problems, we're under the grace. That's why you claim that you don't know. Praise the Lord. So this woman and the man were given microphone. And they started by very sweet and interesting statements. God said, I should tell you that the church is doing very well. You people are preaching the message God sent you to preach. So why did He send you? Do you change a winning team? Praise the Lord. So just like that, after meddling with some words that we cannot put together, and He said, so as I was praying at the mountain, He said I should come and anoint you the more. Before you know it, Gio quickly ran out, the wife quickly ran out, they knelt down. A God sent Messiah from Orioke. So if God look for a way to send a Messiah, no, Orioke will do. Do you know the history of Orioke? Let me not go there. I will tell you another day. That is not my friend. Put your hands for the Lord Jesus. Because sometimes we need to know all this mountain. Find out by yourself. How did it start? Who started it? Who initiated it? Mountain. Do you know the laws there? Some of them that started with your occultic power has placed a rule and a cause. If you must come, you first of all put your feet on the steps laid by the founder. Is it what Jesus said? You're not talking to me. Praise God. Even some were not near the mountain. They will go to hotel and lodge and come back and say, I'm in the mountain. I don't know where hotel, with a condition, and waiters to serve. We better slay things around. I don't know how it has turned out to be a mountain. But let's leave that aside. Praise God. So when they rushed out, a lay hands on them. Oh my God. After that day, when they are praying, the woman that see like, somebody will say, he will see the ants under your bed. Praise God. Amen. Everything became close up. The spirits, the little one we have, they say they want to come and increase. We lost it. Everywhere and everyone began to walk in the dark. Those who do not value what they have will lose it. But if you value what you have, you know that for you to come to this level, you remember how hard you worked to get here, you don't joke with it. And you'll be sure before you take the next step, the worst thing that will happen to you is that you return back to base after going halfway into life or into anything success. Put your head to the ground. Selfish ambition. Like I said, anyone that has this as a character is very gullible. That's why pastors are joining society. You know you have God. Praise God. The same society people, when they disobey the law, they run to church. Is it not true? But you, the pastor, is running to them for help. Praise God. Do you really understand that? Amen. It shows that we are confused. Christianity, the most confused set of religious people. They are Christians. Amen. Some people know that the church they belong to is eating them raw. The reason why you're not succeeding. They are taking everything off you. The next thing you hear that, I don't know what is happening. I want to look for a church, and they will find one. They will have their prayer answer. They have deliverance take place in their life, but they will go back. How do you think that you will take the glory of God and package it and return back to the house of Satan? Will it stay with you? Praise the Lord. And people like that are worse Christians, because when they speak with their neighbor, friend, they will not let their neighbor know that there is no God here. I went somewhere to get results. One sister from my place, those days, he was having issue of the fruit of the womb. And they are the leaders in Catholic Church, All Fellowship, Legion of Mary, St. Jude Society, Block Rosary, what is this their prayer warrior group called? Charismatic, God bless you. Nothing happened in her life. Here, above Flias Road, that's what they live. Nothing happened in their life, in her life. So after a period of time, he started going about. He met one pastor. The pastor prayed for her, she conceived. She returned back. She had a friend who also was having the same problem. And a friend asked her the day she did testimony. She closed the church in thanksgiving, thanking the God of for giving her the fruit of the womb, answering her according to the desires. I don't know whether I'll call it God of Catholic or God of Block Rosary or God of whatever, but you know what I mean, don't you? Put your hands for the Lord. So he closed the church, they celebrated everything. Then a friend who attended that dedication called her aside. Sister, please, is it this place that we pray so take God answered? Say yes. I know God at that place. Here, sister, have faith. God will do it for you. Praise the Lord. But there was a friend she confided in that now that place I go, but I don't want to say it, because if I say it, the person may tell our leader in the church and I will be suspended. And they don't want to be suspended from receiving Holy Communion. So because of that, she hid it. Eventually, the woman she hid it from had it and returned back to her. So you hate me like this. That caused a very serious problem in that their fellowship. What she was hiding from the body of the church, that she went somewhere to receive prayer that answered her desire, or God used to answer and grant her desires of the heart. It became an open knowledge to all the members. Those he was afraid of had it, they sanctioned, he was running away from, came. They now turned the heat on the one he told. Why did you go and talk? You now see that the blessings of God, the answer to prayers that she labored and stayed awake in the night asking from God is now a cause and a problem. Because of put your hands on the Lord Jesus. So I know I am reaching out and ministering to you, am I? Yes. Like I said, anybody that dwells on this, you can easily be lured. The church of God today has been overwhelmed by craze for wealth, money. Today, pastors compete with money. Those days is money and cars. Today is auditorium and private jets. If you never reach anywhere, you must want to get there, no matter what it takes. Who asks? Who cares? All they want to see you displaying is money. And they flow this money to prove that they are ritualists. Otherwise, how do you bring bundles of money in millions in the church? And you call someone out, carry the money in bundle inside the church, and give to him. Bible says, what you're giving out with your right hand, let this left hand not see it. Is it written in your Bible? But these people will call somebody out. Even these days we have electronic transfer. People will be called out when they want to buy biscuit for their pikin, they use POS. But when they want to give money to a believer, to lure more people into this crime, to lure pastors into the crime, and believers onto this deceitful life called Christian today. Praise the Lord. They will pack the money in bundle and give somebody. Who are the people that are giving this money? Are they really the people that need the money? The ones that collect this money are stars, actors, celebrities, true of us. The slave queens and slave kings, true of us. I've never seen, like the politicians are even doing today, they go to villages, pick one widow that has no house, living in a hut, no hope of sleeping under a building roofed with iron sheets. They will demolish the house if there is anyone existing at all. If there is not, they ask for a space. Put up a structure. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. And call the woman and hand over the key. Yes, they go on television, but that's why they are politicians. It means these things are reaching to those that need it. Is that correct? How do you describe a situation where someone that has what he's doing, you call him out in the church, have money? In the first place, that is set up. Because when you give me 5 million naira in present of you now, I will not sleep in my house. I don't know if you will sleep in your house. I will not. Because I know that everybody's hiding the truth. Amen. And everybody's ear is also wide open. By the time you're celebrating, we have see what God did for my reverend today. You will tell it to enemy. True of us. They will come for me. Praise the Lord. So even when they pack the money I will give to them, it's a setup. Number one. Number two, they are using it to corrupt every other person in the church. Even pastors can add the story. Because members will begin to leave the church to where they give money. Let's face it. Because the same sickness that is ravaging pastors is also destroying members. Put the hands on the Lord. Amen. So because of this grace for money, pastors are luring themselves. That is why I say, if you are a man of God, please, my simple advice from my common sense, if you're going through trial, pray. Don't see any pastor say, my ministry is dying. He's not the one that called you. If he died, let Jesus come and bury it. Because the one that you're complaining to did not call you, so he will not help you and bury the church if they die. But I know that the church of Jesus Christ cannot die. What the Bible said is that the church must march on and get of hell. What is get of hell? That trial that is facing you, those challenges, those frustrations, those pain, those lack and want, they are the gate of hell. But where have you seen gates that hell builds? Nowhere. So the gate of hell is these things we are complaining. There is no money, no food, insecurity, sickness, frustration, no member, no tithe. Put your hands on the Lord Jesus. Amen. That's the gate of hell. And Bible says it will not prevail, which means it cannot overcome. It not will win. It not will succeed. It cannot stop the church. So if you think you can't continue, leave it for Jesus. Let him come and take his church. Don't hand it over to Satan. Because the moment you go telling a fellow pastor, how did you do it? One of your legs is already in a court. And you wouldn't know until you entered. I remember those days, we had the story somewhere around the Koto area. One pastor was complaining to fellow pastors. My brother, I don't tire. Nothing is working. We forget that. We forget that. We are like laborers. That is why we take that name. Laborers in the vineyard. Praise the Lord. If you have a farm now, maybe in that farm you have oranges, that is orange plantation or grape or whatever, or coffee. Praise the Lord. And you employ a laborer or laborers to work. If the laborers woke up in the morning and go to the farm, there was nothing to harvest. What will they do? Kill themselves? Complain? What will they do? Our people say that if I go to the bush to fetch firewood and I no see the firewood, he said the bush help me, make my leg no break. So when I'm going to go home, my neck will have because if I see plenty firewood, this neck will pay the price. Do you understand? If a laborer is employed to go and harvest, you go to the farm nothing to harvest, you stay there, they sing. When the owner of the farm comes, you say, I don't see anything. If you see one, show me. You see? Why is it that laborers in the vineyard need the work, cry for the work, die for the work, more than Jesus that sent them? You see your work? When they're looking at you. No. If it's truly God's work, why are you killing yourself for another man's work? Not if he share give you your work. Yes. I mean, as long as you're doing everything he said you should do, leave his work for him. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Are you seeing that? Oh, yes. Because if we are truly serving God, let's be sincere here. If we are truly serving God in truth and in spirit, a man of God will not need to have 500 people as a member. No, he will not. Do you know what it means? 500 people calling you every day. Even if they divide themselves, 500 divided by 10, what do you get? 100. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So if you have 50 people, maybe they divide themselves. Every 10 days it's my turn. And it's 50 people for every day, 50 people. After 10 days, the people that call last time will start again. Do you think you have rest? Praise the Lord. The small that we have now, I sit on phone 2 hours. My head is going to do like this. If I drop on in flashing, and one funny thing is that as one phone is on, thank God for choosing. Another one is beeping from the inside. And you don't know how long that person is going to stay. And that's why these people that say they are pastoring 1 million people, do they answer your call? How many of them have you seen for 10 years? So who is fooling who? Are they really pastoring for Christ? The meaning of a pastor is a shepherd. A shepherd in each sheep attention. That's why the scripture says, when one is missing, you suspend how many? 99 to look for one. Do they know you? Where you stay? Where you come from? Your physical need? Do they know your spiritual need? No. Do they know somebody that know you? And that's where we are rushing to. So in the first place, they are not doing the work. If not for selfish, ambitious nature in them, even when Moses was growing, the Israelites were coming up. He was ministering to their needs. Moses was dying. The man who was close to God, the man who felt God, the man God spoke to direct, the man God handed over the commandment, was dying, physically dying. Physically dying. And Moses wants to do it all to please God. But he says, even in the mouth of the suckling, God gives message to his people. He called his in-law, go and tell my son he will die. I did not ask him to kill himself. Praise the Lord. Designate some offices to some people. So that at the end of the day, the matter that will come to you must be reduced to few. He said the people that will stay in front, I will give them wisdom to handle it. Do you understand? That is why those people that are bringing the whole Nigeria into one house, they are not working for God. I didn't mention anybody, but I'm following the Bible. Praise the Lord. Sometimes every December, there's one in our side. In fact, my deacon neighbor. If you want to know the church and the man, ask my deacon. Put your hands for the Lord. Every December, the whole world will empty in their village. You know, just like when Lagos State government wanted to drive away the man that has swimming pool and bush in his church. Do you know why they did not prosecute this man? They say it's generating foreign currency. All the foreigners that come there, the civil settlement is making money. And the landlord association around there also put up a case. If you people drive this man, who will rent our house? Because the houses have been converted from flats, 2-room, 1-bedroom to now chalets. I mean, obviously they call it. God bless you. The same way the people in the village of that man is not my man, that's their man. Okay, sorry. Amen. They are celebrating, but the man has a vision. He knows what he's doing. Praise the Lord. How do you carry the whole world? Nigeria will empty them. Those branches abroad will empty them. What are they going to do? What prayer? Do you think God will not answer you? The Bible tells me that the God I serve is God of the valley and also God of the mountain. He said, God are the days when you look for God on top of the mountain. Praise the Lord. Or by the valley. Because the same God who operates at the valley also operates where? Must you carry the whole? You see people struggling. Do you know the number of people that died on the road because they are traveling every December to converge? The other time it was on the same church, the same place where people left the comfort of their home, state and country to converge in the name of going for crusade. The same place, now they can't kill. They gave him microphone. He wear cap to talk to people who never wear cap. The pastor does not wear cap because he's a man of God. But then now they wore cap and stood at the altar and preached Biafra in the church of Jesus Christ. Selfish ambition. That is the problem. Praise the Lord. As men of God are burying themselves into this because of what, like I said, congregation that will finally lead to hell. Secondly, private jets. Those who work at airport or close to the airport can ask my daddy in the Lord. Praise the Lord. He will tell you so many pastors that abandon the aircraft. They can't afford to pay for the space, parking space. It costs money. Not to talk on maintaining the aircraft. But they will buy it right there and until it finish. So that when you call them. So that men who are looking for the church, the pastor is very rich, they are qualified. So that when loan contracts come from abroad, they look at them, they qualify. Because if you need loan, you have collateral. Praise the Lord. Are you there? If Bill Gates want to share money to churches, he will not look at us. He will not go collateral. I mean, are you going to use? So that's why they do those things to be placed among the elites, if that is a good name for them, in the work of God. Selfish ambition. At the end of the day, both them, the aircraft, the money, the members, all will perish well. Thank God you said it. Oh yes, God bless you, my brother, you're in the spirit. Put your hands for the Lord. Are you still there? So that is why when you're making a choice, know the choice you're making. The choice of place of worship determines the choice of the place you end. It's not a curse. It's a revelation. Because you can't walk at PNT and go to railway for so long. Bible says there are two gods in this world. Almighty God and God of Mammon. Finish. It did not mention Satan here. I said it before. It did not mention who? It said Mammon, which is God of money. Praise the Lord. So it's either you're serving Almighty in truth and the Spirit, or you're serving money for your selfish needs. And when you're serving money for selfish reasons, you will end where selfish people end. Do you understand? Praise the Lord. So, as it is in the life of pastors who are selling everything out, I've told you before that where I was working, my office, At the ground floor, I have one man that deals on boutique. Anytime I'm coming down, you will first of all see me if I'm coming down from a staircase. Say, Pastor, now you are saying that me. Then wow, your pastor, I don't deceive us fire. Way back. Not me today or when they name for internet. That time, pastors never show for internet. Praise God. I'll not smile. He said, you be like say you go different, but hi. It will start by telling me what the church that share boundary with his house, the compound where he lives at Olodia Papa, what the church is doing. You know, I promise you, crossing my heart, I will not wish you. Anyone I do is by mistake. Praise God. But this church, if you live in Ajeku Olodia Papa, that church was very popular in 90s, owned by Oyibo man from Imo State. Imo people are strong. Very good and committed. Let me say amen. Amen. God bless you. I'll give you one of the character of this pastor, but I will not mention the name. This pastor had a maid. Praise God. And he trained the maid to the age of marriage. Then a brother who was so committed in the church was looking for a wife. Obviously, anyone that live with that Gio is supposed to be of good character, isn't it? God bless you. So the lady was chosen. As a matter of fact, when the man went for counseling that I need to marry a wife, he said, have you not seen? Praise the Lord. Just like Jesus said, God said, have you not seen my son Job? Have you not seen my daughter? Now we call him. Praise God. And the man quickly accepted because Jibo was the one that, now, praise God. And he picked interest, he worked for it. At the end of the day, he married her and wedded the woman. Praise the Lord. This is the church that before you marry, because of this, he went and opened laboratory. Before you marry, you do all the tests in the world, only in his own lab. Praise God. So after the marriage, the man, they've now been blessed as man and God bless you. So as they returned home, they went to their bedroom as man and I hope you're wise here. So as they entered as man and wife, only for the man to jump out with annoyance, screaming. Praise the Lord. Following morning, he rushed to the church. First to Gio, the person you give me, hey, if I say it's not a virgin, that means I am still looking for something that has value. This one, nothing there again. Don't ask me how, because I didn't need the man. I'm supposed to ask him to explain to me the meaning of nothing there again. So I don't understand that word, but that's the word he used again. Praise the Lord. He said that it's you. Nothing there again. That is just okay. Calm down. I will ask her what happened. Don't worry. The man could not endure it. The moment the church assembled, he rushed to the parish committee. This is very true. The wife Jigo gave me, in fact, this person was living with our Jigo, and Jigo did not understand what this person was doing. So let us hold her down so that she will talk. Who did they commit this sin with? You know why the man was doing that? To save Jigo from embarrassment. And to expose to Gio that the person he trusted is not worthy of the trust. Then the church assembled. When they queried this person, Gio was present. When they queried Pusha, he said, "No, go." I said, "No." Gio said, "Hey, take them." He said, "It's not a Gio." Are you still there? Who was the one that made everything not to be something?
That is you.
That is you. And the day this thing happened, it drew the attention of neighbors. So that's my my friend, was there also. So he gave me 1 point, still now. If I knew me, I won't put my preach to this. He has seen also what he did. Praise the God. You understand that? So anytime coming that way, starts just making jest on me and stuff like that. Say, oh, you pastor, hey. Praise the Lord. I keep telling them that. Yes, the Bible says in the latter days, men will be lovers of themselves, selfishly ambitious. So anyone you see like that, Bible knew about it and recorded about them beforehand. That shows that the word of God is intact and is complete. Praise the Lord. So you now see that everything about Christianity today is centered on ambition. The pastors ambitiously looking for this money and members. And like I said before, when they get this money, what do they do with it? They use it to spoil people the more. And when they start making this money, they make more money. That's why pastors that own larger auditorium believe that they have conquered the world. They now need to go into politics. True of us? Ambition, you can never be satisfied. You continue to ask for more. And every day new idea to exploit will come your way. The Bible says when they want to claim tithes and offering, they remind us of where the Bible says that the Levites neither sow nor reap. Is it true? They never had any property shaped given to them in the days of the sharing of assets by the people of Israel, 12 tribes anyway, as the case may be. But today, if you talk about highest investors in the land, pastors will stand out. Is it true? Is it confusion? They will tell you that if Jesus is living in this generation, he will do the same thing. Logic. In the days of Jesus, were there no animal husbandry men? How many did they have? Are you aware that he learned carpentry? How many workshop did he have? Praise the Lord. We should be sincere to ourselves. And immediately they say this, we believers who know that our life is not spread, we swallow it. Every member today is looking for a church that will cover his sin. True of us. Hello? And that's why many will know that this church is not strong enough, but because the habit I have is accommodated here, I belong there. So you belong to the church where the pastor and the pastors, praise the Lord, as well as members and workers, live the way you live. Come to think of it, is it not going to be nice if today we close from service? Some of us that stay drink. Praise the Lord. You branch to one corner. Place of drink is always in a corner. You branch to one corner. Before you take 1 bottle, 2 bottles, I appear there. And I ask for my own brand. Tell me, won't you be happy with me? You will hear me. You are in spirit. The first thing is to, Daddy, so you give me 1 carton. Amen. To be happy that Daddy belongs to our club. Is it true of us? 1 carton would they grab? And every day say, Daddy, look with the meat here. You know this place is cool. Amen. But if you know that I will speak against you and the drink if I see you and I reason into that place, you didn't know what I was coming to do. what will you do with your dream? After hiding it, will you come to church next Sunday? You will give a card so that in case I saw you, I will forget. Put your hands on it. That is how many people choose churches and fellowship today. Where the evil they live in will be celebrated and everybody will live alike. Nobody will condemn each other. But let me tell you, if your pastor did not condemn you, your workers did not condemn you, the word of God will condemn you. And whosoever the word of God condemns is totally condemned, because this word is God himself. Yes, for the Lord. Selfish ambition. Please, to be ambitious is good, but to be selfish about it, that is the reason why we ask and we don't receive. And that is the problem. On Thursday, I was speaking out, showing how bad, the way I felt bad, how much I feel bad about the situation, financial state. And as I was laboring in that pain and prayer, God was telling me that my members are the cause, because everyone is selfishly ambitious. It is selfish ambition that warrants a situation where God will bless you. Anyone God blesses is for someone else. I don't know if you believe that. Some people will say, I said it the other day, I labor to make my money. If there are people that will complain of labor to get what they want, they are the men of God. Not every man of God, sincere men of God. Because before you come to a point where you will speak a word as a true servant of God who sincerely started serving God in truth and in spirit, up to the point you started talking and speaking the mind of God and praying and getting answer. Before you get to that level, you must have been tested, tried, and proven. This test is not classroom test. How does God test people he loves? Look at the history of Jesus. He said Jesus learned obedience through what? Through suffering. So this test we are talking about is what? Suffering. And while you're suffering because of the call, you have a choice to suffer till the end and receive the power, or to abandon it and go to hell. But the moment you abandon it, you need power from hell. Will it give you? Quickly. So you have a choice to suffer and get this kind of power, or to abandon this suffering and get the power easily the way everybody is getting it. Amen. Amen. Because I am a product of that suffering. At a point I was asking God those days, does it mean I have become a laboratory where Satan tried power? Because whatever power they want to try, they've tried it in this melody. And anyone that comes after a period of time, God will say, my son, he has come to an end. That day he said he has come to an end. Tomorrow another one will start. And when you return to him and say, God, you said that was the end. He said, yes, it was the end. But they said they want to try again. Sometimes you're tempted to ask him, don't you know I'm a human being? But you need to ask him. Because he knows you're a human being. What is it that we have not gone through? Is it torture physically? Is it torture spiritually? Is it torture by outsiders? Is it tortured by insiders? Is it tortured by those you love? Is it tortured by those that hate you and those even you hate? Let us agree that you can hate. Praise the Lord. You see, we've been tortured all around. Is it by those you help to change their life, returning back to torture you? And God will be expecting you to remember what the scripture said when they slap you here. Praise the Lord. Anytime you're threatening to back out, the Holy Spirit will remind you of the word of God and say, those that endure till the end. And sometimes end is endless. Before you get to the point where you speak and heaven will hear, it means you've endured, you've suffered, that God himself has said yes, you qualify. And then Satan will be forced to hang around, not to leave you. Are you still there? Hanging around means keep watch. So not only the Spirit of God that watches you, Satan also watches over you. Praise the Lord. So that any little mistake, it will overthrow the Spirit of God in you and take over the authority. Praise the Lord. If there's anyone that will say, I suffer so much to become what I am, it is a true servant of God and a true believer who has forsaken everything we crave for. The food you eat, I don't eat it. Praise the Lord. The things you crave for, I run away from it. The freedom you have, I don't have it. Why? All in a bid to stay in shape. For whose sake? And with all this suffering and the suffering still going on, the frustration and pain that we are getting in return from those we are laboring with that same suffering, the same people will look at your face and ask you, what do you want me to do? Are you God that will ask me to give you? Are you not working for God? They will quote scripture for you. Is it not freely you receive, Bible said, and freely you give? Of course we receive freely, but did we pay a price? That is why the Bible says, work out your salvation. There must be a work you will put in. Paul knew it when he said, if I could labor for your spiritual needs, you must labor. Paul did not say maybe. He said you should labor for physical need. Praise the Lord. But what do we have? We have everything appearing one-sided. I don't blame believers, but I blame believers. I blame them because the word of God is supposed to be a guide to every Christian. Is it true? But I don't blame them much because the pastors today have positioned themselves to be the one giving. That's why pastors will buy car and give one fine lady like that. Put money on top of bonnet and call for camera. Is it true of us? Praise the Lord. The work of God is like a work of take it for the people. The work that is meant for those in need. Those who are spiritually in need, give them what they want. Those who are physically in need, whatever you have, give them. But not the way and manner we're going about it. Do you understand it? How do you give somebody who does not have a house, a jeep, to drive home? What sense are you creating? Amen. Praise the Lord. How do we have 50 people in the church who are hungry? You pick one person and give him 10 million naira and others will go empty. What sense is that? If you're doing the work of NGO, which is part of the work of God, feeding those that are hungry, that is also the duty of pastors. But that is when the needs are supplied, the needs are given to them. Praise God. Why don't you call all the 50 people who are hungry and make sure everybody receives something? Am I making a point? Praise the Lord. Because the one you distributed in that manner received glory from God and even from man. But how do you call one person out? And what's supposed to be shaped to the whole church be given to one person? Are you still doing the work of God? Put your hands for the Lord. So everything has gone from righteousness, holiness, to worldliness and ambition. Praise the Lord. So the Bible said we should stop doing the work of God as pastors with strife, anger, and selfishness. The same way, to members, stop pursuing selfish ambition even as a Christian and in the house of God. If I should ask now, everyone sitting here, we all have desires and ambition, isn't it? And I ask you to bring out your ambition now. Put it before God for screening. Will it pass the test of selflessness or selfish? The reason why you are complaining God's unfaithfulness in your life is it tilted towards the direction of selflessness or selfishness? If God gives you that thing, will it serve the purpose of taking care of your needs and others in need, or will it be for yourself so that you become Lord and God over others? Am I making it?
Yes.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
The problem in our country is that we practice capitalism. Is that correct? Yes. It's supposed to be communism. But Americans destroy that system anywhere they find it. But that system is close to God's house, where everybody owes everything in common. What I owe belongs to you. What you owe belongs to me. That's the best form of life. And that was the life that even Jesus practiced, the same life the disciples practiced when they were staying in a confined place, upper room. The Bible says some of them will go and sell their property and bring worship. Is it true? That is it. And anywhere you have this system, nobody will kill each other for ritual. Nobody will use his heart, his body for ritual. No pastor will desire to have 10,000 people as a member because he knows he can't control them. Is it true? Praise the Lord. When we know that everything is equal and in common with everybody. Praise the Lord. But we have a system where if you have, others will become fools, lie down for you and kneel down before you. And that is why today Christianity and leaders in Christendom have adopted the life of politicians. They go about with siren, entourage, praise the Lord, and they go also with team of security details. If you want to see your pastor, police will first of all interview you. Why do you want to see GO? Because of what? Power of money, selfish ambition. Praise the Lord. Are you with me? So I would like to give you the characters of people who have this ambition, but time is not my friend. Praise God. So probably we'll continue from there next week. But I want to advise you on something. If you want your prayers to be answered, praise the Lord, take away this selfish ambition from your mind when you're placing your prayer request before God, if it's possible. The interesting thing here is that even if you take it away from your prayer point, I mean, you articulate your prayer point very well, but your heart is still yearning for it, God will still not answer. Praise the Lord. The Bible says, we ask, we did not receive, because we ask amiss. Praise God. And in order to use it for our selfish, do you understand that? So God has given you the guideline here. When self becomes part of you, it is difficult to hear from God. And sometimes we play innocence, loyalty, commitment. We want to, I said on Sunday that if it's possible, people will still deceive and dupe Satan. Do you know why Satan, anybody that is joining call today, before you will take the oath, they will not tell you what to do, what they will take from you. Do you understand that? You understand that? Why? Because they know that if they tell you, you will decide. Praise the Lord. So by the time you enter, they'll give you the money you enjoy. They'll now tell you next month, bring your whatever, your mother, your child, your wife. And the next thing is, I didn't explain it to me very well. Now, if you watch, even those of you that watch home video, if the moment it is pronounced, you have to bring your mother, it's discovered they don't give close marking again. They mean they don't give chance, they give close marking. Do you know why? Because they know if they leave you, you will chance them. So even Satan is afraid of us, knowing that giving a human being no rope, especially Nigerians, they will guide Satan and deceive Satan, who is deceiver himself. So that is why the moment they tell you what to bring, they will start appearing you from the wall. You're inside your car, the high priest will sit near you. After telling you, remember, you will disappear. At least you will not have time to plan. You will become restless until the appointed time. Put your hands for the Lord. Are you still with me? Hallelujah. Yeah. It shows that Satan too knows that we can manipulate him. And if Satan feels so, God feels so. But there are so many people that God tested and tried, but they did not prove themselves. Bible said, even if you're faithful with a little, praise the Lord, God will give you more. But when the little is given to us, we are telling God, I have 1 million naira problem and you give me 500,000. Let me solve this one. Next time when you give me 1 million, you will balance the 500 deficit and take the other one and settle you. Praise the Lord. Sometimes God will give us what we ask for and He's watching us. The next thing we start formulating ideas and policies and programs, stories, in order to tell God reason why we shouldn't obey His command. Do you think after that God will give you another one? To some, they are not even promising anything. They are telling God, I will serve you in truth and in. But when the blessing enter, you don't see them in the church again. Not only in the church where they receive the blessing, but in any church. Is it true of us? To some are even those the church, various churches they belong to, even the General Assembly, picked you, helped you, and guided you financially, spiritually, until you stand. Is it true? The moment a person stands, you have 1,001 reasons why you should dictate for the church that built you, laid foundation for you, packaged you, and helped you become what you are. Is it in any way a sign of sincerity? Is it in any way a proof of selflessness? Is a demonstration of selfish and self-centeredness? Even our people said fowl, chicken, or cocoa. Praise the Lord. It's not a forget person that picked the feather during the race. Praise the Lord. When you remove the feather of fowl during the race season, did you favor the fowl or the feather? This favor or favor? Okay, what is the advantage of having lesser feather in the race? Disfavor. It is favor because good will deal with it. Do you understand? So which means whatever treat you give to anybody, you're leaving a legacy in that life. Praise the Lord. So if God has given you a treat as a child of God from childhood or from foundation in beauty, it means you shouldn't forget. As a matter of fact, we don't forget whosoever that dealt with us as we're growing, whether rightly or wrongly. Is it true of us? Those that punished you, maltreated you while you were young, how many of you have forgotten? If I say forget now, somebody will quote scripture. Not the scriptural type, but as in, it's no more existing in your memory. It's still fresh in your memory, isn't it? So also the people that helped you when you're struggling, either going through education or struggling in life. But we easily forget God who laid foundation, who made us what we are, who connected us to the position we occupy, who saved us from life-threatening sicknesses, challenging situations, troubles, pain. We easily forget. And if you can forget what God has done for you, how do you mean and expect the same God to continue doing so that you continue forgetting? Say one good turn. What is the meaning of that? Huh? Good thing, British. So if I do good and you return it, but that is one turn. Am I correct? Simple, my simple wisdom, praise God. My common sense. If I do something good for you, you return back in any way but good, right? It may not be exactly the same thing. That means one turn has gone, is it? And you say it deserves, which means I have to still do more. Another good thing. God bless you. Are you see that? Which means if God has done something for us and we return the goodness might be serving Him in truth and spirit. The goodness might be working for Him. The goodness might be helping someone else who is in need. And God will see that He has gone round. He will do again for you. Do you believe that? So many of us stop the circle from going round. As a story I read is online. Everybody should have the knowledge of it. But let me break it because of time. Next week we'll continue. They said this young man had a mother who was a sickler, suffering from life-threatening disease. Praise the Lord. Maybe asthma. Praise God. And that day there was no inhaler. Let's use asthma inhaler. There was no inhaler to save the woman under attack. Praise the Lord. And this young man ran to a shop. He had no money and the mother had no money, so there was poverty in the house. Praise God. And he looked at the inhaler and looked at the shop attendant or the pharmacist that the case may be. And he said, I have only one option. To get the inhaler and save my mother. How I get it is immaterial here. He went straight to the place where the inhaler was placed, picked one. As he was rushing up, the man in the shop arrested him, beat him up, and attempted to hand him over to police. Praise the Lord. One woman appeared and said, what is it? He said, this boy has just stolen. Boy, why did you steal? He said, my mother is under attack, and if I waste another 30 minutes, he will die. Please help me, I'm not a thief. The shopman said, no. You must go to police station, praise God, and you must be jailed. And the woman standing there picked out some money and gave the shopman and said, could you allow him to go now? I've paid for it. He looked at the young man and said, next time, do not practice this kind of character. Again, if you don't have money, don't come to the shop. Are you there? Now, after some years, this young man grew, someone helped him, he became a graduate and a medical doctor. As the fullness of time, this woman was very sick and had no money. But on the day he was almost dying, he was wheeled to the hospital. And the moment they got to that hospital, the doctor on duty said, woman, your deposit. He said, I had no money. He said, we're not giving you any attention. Everyone that pleaded with the doctor said no. That is the policy here. They were pleading, he said, I don't want to lose my job. This is the policy here. As he was about leaving the door, another doctor walked in and asked what happened. Narrated the situation. The woman has no money, so he had to go. That is the policy of the hospital. And that doctor said he's not going anywhere. Praise God. And the man said, remember what the policy said, the management. That one said, I am the management. The woman stays and I will treat her. Took care of the woman. When the woman recovered, he looked up to her and to him and he said, you saved my life. I don't know, I have nothing to repay you back. I don't know how to pay you back. The man opened his hand and there was a piece of paper that was written, do it to the next person, that kind of a thing. Praise the Lord. And the woman remembered that the day the little boy was thanking me, he wrote that paper and he said, anywhere you see anybody in the future, do it. That is, say, do this thing as you move forward. When he gave him the same paper, I remember he wrote this. I remember the boy and looked up to that boy again, so he was you. And he shed tears. Supposing the woman did not spend that money there. The mother died. Maybe the boy became useless. Who would have healed her, treated her, took care of her? That's what the scripture said. That's what Bible wants us to practice and do. And that's exactly when God is blessing you. His blessing is that you keep reaching out to people as you move along in life, as you move forward in life, as you go on in life. Anyone that is in need, assist. It's not for selfish. It's for those who do not have what you have. It is for those who sincerely need those things you have. It is a privilege to have what others do not have. It is not your power. It is not your right. It's a privilege. And because it's a privilege, if you did not use it properly, you will lose it into the hands of those that knows how to value it, that knows the value of it. Our people say that could I not last longer in the mouth of those who value it. If somebody who does not know the value of kola, you know what he will do? He will grind that like grinding machine. Swallow and even with water. But give it to an elder who understands the value of kola nut. One kola nut will last the whole day in the mouth. Is it true? Rise on your feet. Those that know the value of blessing, value of breakthrough, value of promotion from God, it will continue to stay with them. It will last longer in their life. Even from generation to generation, they will keep prospering. Begin to wave your hands unto the Lord and say, Lord, I need your wisdom. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Father, I present your people before you. Eternal Rock of Ages, be desiring your success. In your word for the past 5 weeks or more, you've been teaching us how to succeed and those things to avoid if we want to succeed. We thank you for the wisdom. We thank you for the word that comforts. I know it's breaking up the yoke of poverty. I know it's breaking up those characters and flushing those desires in us that are countering God's success, blessings, and promotion in our life. As we go on daily basis, as we come here to share your word, I demand, my Lord and my God, that this word will form a character in us. That all the things we read out from the Bible, that the Bible demanded we should not do, Jehovah, give us the grace and the strength to overcome them, to live above them, in the name of Jesus. Give us the ability to control, in the mighty name of Jesus. For those of us who have made mistakes, even for the blessings, for the opportunity, for the privilege given in the past, may you give us a second time. You are still the same God, oh God, that allowed the prodigal son to return in full and take full possession of his own portion for the second time. And the Bible says you gave him a treat that become the envy of the righteous one. I say, Lord, you're still the same God. Let that same mercy visit us. Let that compassion, that same compassion be visited on us. In the mighty name of Jesus. And let that reception be our portion today. In the mighty name of Jesus. And as you make provision for that prodigal son, may you make provision for us once more. And give us the grace. But we are also asking for wisdom and knowledge. That when the blessings start coming this time, Jehovah, your wisdom will order us, will direct us on how to use it and where to use it. So that continually this blessing will flow forever and ever. In the mighty name of Jesus. Father, we're not forgetting the fact that there are forces who are on daily basis rising to stop us. I say, Father, every secret battle, we hand them over to you. Because we know these battles are not flesh and blood, they are spiritual. Their wickedness in high and low places. Hence we pray you release your warring angels. You release the angels in charge of war. Let the angels counter them. As it was in the days, O God of Daniel, when Michael was released to counter Satan, for the blessing to be released. May you release Michael for our sake these days. So wherever our blessings are trapped, they be released. Wherever our blessings are suspended, they will be forced to be released. In the name of Jesus. Every force challenging us, challenge them back. Because you promise to rise against those that rise against us. To fight against those that fight against us. I pray that every force challenging us, challenge them back. Every force stopping us, stop them. The one trying to destroy us, destroy them. Overtake the overtakers in our life. In the mighty name of Jesus. I also know, oh God, that so many of us, oh God, are suffering from the envy of both our neighbors, contemporaries, superiors and subordinates, in offices, in places of business, even in our homes and matrimony. We say, Jehovah, whoever that is destroying us, whosoever that are plotting evil, whosoever that is frustrating us, whosoever that laid ambush against the source of our blessings and income, may you destroy and dismantle their stronghold. In the mighty name of Jesus. In the mighty name of Jesus. Jehovah, my desire is, as we are into second quarter of this year, into part 2 of this year, if you like, second stanza of this year, Tabernacle of Ages, I demand that before this month will end, we'll look back and count our blessings. And I pray by the time we name them one by one, we'll see reasons to glorify your name. That I know you can do it again. Do it mighty in battle. For those that do not have work, I decree walk in their life. Not anyhow walk, but walk that will give you glory. Walk that will pay their bills. Walk that will bring honor unto your name. And walk also that will give them the privilege and the grace to serve you. In the name of Jesus. For those that have offices, Father, they need wisdom to run and control the affairs and the responsibilities given unto them. They will never lack wisdom. Such wisdom you give Solomon, the same wisdom I ask for everyone in authority that is standing here. Both those in authority in the house of God, those in authority in their place of business, those in authority in various offices. Father, they need wisdom to do it the way it should, according to your word and in fear of Almighty God, and still to satisfy the system that employ them. May it be so, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus. I know there are businessmen and contractors. Jehovah God, as the sower spread the seeds, I want you to spread the news of their businesses. Spread their business also to reach out all regions. And as the businesses get the knowledge and wisdom, as well as the news of their businesses are circulating, so you'll be attracting favor, customers, profits, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Father, today you spoke to us concerning your church. And I know that your church is standing out. If your church is standing out, then the members of your church should stand out also. I want all the members of this ministry to stand out. Even every area of their interest. For those that are going to politics, let them stand out as politicians. Politicians with conscience. and politicians that will stay with your blessing and live to be a blessing to you, to your kingdom, your church, their life, and whoever they represent. So shall it be in the name of Jesus. For those that have careers in their as their profession, for those, oh God, doing various work and careers as their choice and profession, even though they're studying and learn over it, even whatever means, Jehovah, I demand that each career today will produce results. In the name of Jesus. They should stand tall amongst their peers, amongst the equals. In the name of Jesus. We are not only taught they will reach, they will go beyond that. In fact, there is no limit to where God is taking you to. Any career person in this place, is their life shall Jesus. The gift Joseph had was what God used. A career you have is what God will use to launch you. I say He will use that to launch you. In the name of Jesus. I am not praying for you to be known in the local area. You're going to be known in national and international. I don't know those who have faith. If you have faith, shout it loudly. Yeah, because I know and I believe that wherever you get to, you will go along with the wisdom, understanding and knowledge of God you learned in the Bible assembly. That means many people will hear the truth, stand on the truth, and many candidates will be prepared for heaven and eternity. And that's why I pray that your career will take you to position. It will take you far. It will bring you closer to God. It will use you to reach your roots, to bless those in need, to strengthen the weak, to restore hope unto the hopeless. So shall it be your life. Jesus. You have a national business. My prayer for you today is to be an employer of labor. And that means your business will grow. I say your business will grow. Your course will be enlarged. Your course must be enlarged. We serve the God of Jabez. That God that enlarged the course of Jabez. He will be your God. He will give you the same treat He gave to Jabez. He will multiply you. He will multiply your blessing. He will multiply the forces around you. Forces of blessing and breakthrough. He will multiply your connection. He will multiply those that will connect you for favor. In the name of Jesus. And hear me, even when God will be assembling workers, He will bring seasoned workers that will obey the rule, obey God, and work for the promotion and success of your business. Can I hear the craziest one? So shall it be. In the mighty name of Jesus. And not forgetting those that do not have what they need to start this business. Capital will flow into your hands. I don't know how it will happen, but I know God is able. Because I know He can do all things. I see your capital increase. In the name of Jesus. I say God will step you up. He will touch someone to give to you. He will anoint someone to give to you. He will send someone to give to you. In the mighty name of Jesus. And whatever you invest, you will reap. I said, as you invest, you will reap. I said, anywhere you invest, you will reap. Every of your investment today will bring success. Open the promotion in the name of Jesus. I look forward to seeing your profit increasing marginally to the glory of Almighty God. And those of us who are in the work of ministry, I demand that the Spirit of God will keep increasing in us. Anointing of God will flow. His wisdom for His word and wisdom for His work shall be our portion. And the grace, desire, zeal for righteousness shall overwhelm us. I need a go here. Begin to wave your hands up to my God. Father, even if there are people I did not reach out to in this prayer, let the Holy Spirit take over. Because I know as their faces different, so their needs. Begin to speak concerning their needs. And also concerning your desire in their life. But above all, before we meet next Sunday, Jehovah, I want to hear testimony. I want to see promotion. I want to see upliftment. I want to see favor.